Hi folks. Other people may have shown you how to build forest industry, but in this episode, I'm going to show you how to build a forest industry even if the resources are scarce. That's right, even if the resources are scarce. So let's get started. So the first problem we need to solve is we need to set up our industrial district. And if you look at the forestry area here, it's kind of small, and we have a little small area over here, and a little small area over here, and a little small area over here. So basically our forestry resources are spread out in spotty areas like a dog's breakfast. So we're going to handle that by setting up our district to capture, I'm thinking we're going to capture this area, and that area without taking up too much geography. So let's do that. Let's set an area, and we'll try to keep it fairly simple and get all the trees in that we have. Certainly want to capture that and go up to there, and we'll capture that area, and we'll make that connected. And perhaps I'll go back this way, and I know it's a very goofy shape. Don't want to make it any bigger than I have to. Daffodil Square, boy, that's an odd name for a industrial area. And perhaps for continuity reasons, we'll probably have a road over here, so it might have some buildings on it. So to keep us, yeah, I'm thinking continuity basically. That'll give us a contiguous or continuous area to have an industry. So there we have it. We've set our district area. That's the first step. Okay, so let's set up our road network for our industrial district. Now you'll notice that I did sneak some railway track across here offline. I just noticed that over here there was some railway track going outside of the city limits. So I thought, while I'm thinking about it, I'll connect it now, bring it straight across, and connect it up to the other side of the city. And that way it's connected to my metro railway hub. So anyway, that's something, a little problem I just wanted to deal with while I was thinking about it. So one of my rules of thumb is that each industrial district should have its own highway connection. And it looks like the natural connection to this highway is right here with this roundabout. But what scares me is this roundabout's already starting to, it's not dysfunctional, but traffic's starting to back up. And it's servicing this generic industrial area here. So we don't want traffic to have a problem. Obviously they won't have any problem getting out, but they may have a problem getting in as this traffic starts to build, and that's what scares me a little bit. So it may look a little odd, but I'm going to actually pull a connection to the highway right over here, and I'm going to try to sneak an interchange right in there. So let's do that. I've assumed that you knew how to locate resources using the info views in the top left corner. Up on the top left corner on the info views, if you click on it, go down to the natural resources icon. It looks like a group of rocks is what I would say. And you click on that, and the map kind of turns color, and you'll see that oil is black, ore is a light blue, forest is green, and fertile land, which is farming, such as over on the right hand side here, is yellow. So of course you can see where the trees are, it's green, so we've highlighted or we've built our district in an appropriate area. Click on that subscribe button below now and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on great tips on how to play the game of City Skylines. Alright, so I said I'm going to build a new interchange right about here. Hopefully I can sneak it in between these two overpasses and pull a road up here to connect to a roadway network that's specific to our industry district over here. So let's do that right now. So we built the major road network now, and you probably noticed that I expanded the industry district, so it's just one big blob. It just seemed to make sense in the end. And the other thing I wanted to point out to you is that the major roadway system is all one way. And this has to do with the workflow that needs to occur in an industry area that's specific, such as a forestry industry district. So that's a very important point that I'm going to talk about later. In fact, it's probably the most critical point in developing and building an industry district. So keep watching so you don't miss out on probably what's the most critical principle to building an industrial district. But for the moment, my next step is to build the minor road system. I don't have to build the entire minor road system, but for now, I'm just going to start fleshing it out. So now I've expanded the district a little bit again, and I've fleshed out the minor road network at least to some extent, and we can now start building our first assets. But as per usual when I'm doing these tutorials, sometimes things don't go perfectly, and I've actually made a mistake here, folks, and I don't know if you caught it, but I made a mistake when I set this district up, and I'll show you what I mean. So what I did was I clicked on here and I just set up a general district area. Well, that's fine for residential neighborhoods or commercial neighborhoods, but really what I should have done is you click on here, go down to paint an industry area, and that's the tool I should have used, and I cannot believe I missed that, but well, I guess that's something. I made a mistake and I'll learn from it. But now, so how do we fix it? Well, we go back and now we erase a district. So we will erase a district using the biggest brush we have. So I'll erase this. And this might take me a few seconds. I guess the more painful the mistake is, the more you remember not to do it again. Maybe, at least that's my theory anyway. And we'll paint a district about the same size, but it's going to be an industry area. I'm just glad I caught it now because something wasn't making sense to me, and usually what happens is, you know, as soon as you paint a district area, it tells you that you can start building, and it didn't do that. So that should have been my first clue that I made a mistake. So over here to paint an industry area, and let's fix that. And I'm using the biggest brush I got, so let's just paint that now. And I'm not going to be very picky about how I do it this time since I'm trying to play catch up here. So we'll just click on this and keep it all in there. Not perfect, but everything's captured, and that should do it. Well, look at that. It says Forest Industrial Valley. Well, that is a title or a name for an industry area that makes much more sense. And of course, as soon as we've done that, up pops build a main building, which is exactly what I was hoping to see and didn't happen when I used the wrong tool. Don't ask me why I did it, but sometimes things don't go perfectly, as I said. So we click on this icon here. Oh, that's the garbage one. Actually, no, it's the right icon. And I go over to forestry, click on the forestry industry. So I think the main thing to remember when you're placing your assets is that you've got extractor buildings, processor buildings, unique factories, and commercial zones. And this is kind of the flow from the left to the right. And we're going to do that. And also, you know, there's this depiction here. There is a flow within the industry area. So first up is to build the main building, and I'll do that. I'm going to build the main building over here. There's no trees over here, so it's probably a good place to put it, and right there. As soon as I do that, I have now a sawmill, a small tree plantation, and a small log yard. So I'll go just click on that, and I I need to build an extractor. So there's a small trees plantation. And let's put it over here, right up front. So I've got a small tree plantation. And I can put maybe one there. One there. Let's build 3. So I've done 3. And I think that's about all I can do. Oh, I can build a sawmill. Processing building needs to be placed inside the industry area. So I'll click on that. And I'll build that over here because I think the sawmill can be far away. And there's one more item I think I can build. And that's the main building. And the sawmill I just built. And a small log yard. So a small storage yard for storing raw forest products. Storage buildings can be placed outside the industry area. But in this case, I'm going to place it in terms of roadway flow, in front of the sawmill so that the logs come from this area. They'll go to a log yard and then they'll be sawn up in the sawmill. So I'll put that, for example, here. So I've done a processing building, I believe. So, and now we need to build some services to these areas. Okay, so we've serviced the industrial district with water and electricity. And one thing I like to do, and I'm not sure if it's absolutely necessary, but it really works out well for me, is to provide basic services that can easily access this industrial area. So given the fact that this is a one-way road system, placing them here, they can easily access that area. And of course, what I've put here is a firehouse in case there's a fire, police station for crime, medical clinic for health, crematorium, and a recycling center so that garbage can be picked up. And I do know that if I don't put a recycling center somewhere in this industrial area, the main building will complain of garbage not being picked up. So that's why I do this, and it works out fairly well, and it keeps the industry area safe. We're going to invest a lot of time and effort in building this. We don't want buildings to burn down. We don't want garbage to pick up and so on. And we don't want a high crime rate. So we've got the services we need. Now there's 2 more things we need to do to boost the production of this industrial district. So let's look at our forest logging area. It's a level 1, and if we click on this, you've got 2 boxes. There's the info box and the policy box. So right now I want to look at the policy box. And I'm not going to read these buttons. There's improved logistics, improved worker safety, and advanced automation. You can read those at your leisure, but basically things like packing and deliveries are more efficient. And of course, the increased cost to industrial buildings is 10%. Again, worker safety is improved, but there's a cost for each worker. And then there's advanced automation. Things get built faster. There's increased production, but again, there's a cost to that. But what I find is by clicking on these policies, it helps us get from level 1 to level 2 and higher. So I'm going to click on Improve Logistics, Improve Worker Safety, and Advanced Automation. And that's going to help us get to level 2. So that's the first thing we need to do to boost our industrial district productivity. The next thing we need to do to make sure that our district is going to produce goods and get them in and out efficiently is to have a cargo train station and cargo train system in and out of our industrial area. So I'm going to build a cargo train station probably somewhere over here, and I'm going to connect it, maybe another cargo train station somewhere in this area to connect to this industrial area. And then I'm going to put another cargo train station somewhere down in here. I want it to be close to our commercial zones, because what we don't want to have happen is we don't want our commercial zones complaining that they don't have enough goods to sell, which will happen if we don't have a cargo train station terminal in or near our commercial areas. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to set up the cargo train system. So we've set our district policies now, and we've got a cargo train station network in place to support our industrial district and to connect it to the commercial zones in our city and to other industrial zones. So let's build a few more assets now and see if we can get ourselves to level 2. So go to the icon here for industries and over to forestry. So let's go to the extractor type buildings and let's build some more trees plantations. And I want them to be where there's trees. There's not many trees there. Expected production units. Yeah, see how the expected production units go up if the density's higher. So let's see if we can do something with our roads. Let's put a road right through there. So I'm gonna go right through it like this and connect up to there. Alright, so now let's go back and let's put in some more tree plantations. There we go, nice high production because the density of the trees is nice and high. So we'll put one there, and not bad, one there, and one there. There we go, nice high production areas. And yes, they need some water, so we'll put some water in for them. That should do with that, and that should help them. And over here, let's put in some more, another log yard. Looks like that log yard is pretty full. So we'll go back to our processing buildings. There's a sawmill. There's a log yard. So I'm going to put another log yard here and another one right beside it. And go back to our processing and put another sawmill right there. And I'm hoping that helps us get to the next level. And I think I cut off the electricity, so let's just connect that again. There we go. And go back to our, where's our district? Let's just check on it and click on there and go to info. So we're getting close, we're almost at level 2. So let's let the game run for just a little while and get ourselves to level 2. Well, our forest logging area site has made it to level 2. So that ends part 1 of how to build a forest industry. If you have any questions, note them below and I will answer them to the best of my ability. If you have any topics you would like me to cover, note them in the comments below because I'm always looking for ideas. And hit that subscribe button below so you don't miss out on part 2 of how to build a forest industry. Click on the box below now to get more great tips on how to play City Skylines. I know you're always looking for ideas on how to start a city, so click on that box now to watch my tutorial titled Start a New City Lakefield Episode 1, and I will see you there in my video. That's all for now, folks.